y'all. Welcome to episode 148. I believe I am correct on that. Episode 148 is what I saw when I went on our organization calendar. But welcome to Consignment Chats. Ladies, how you doing today?
Hey, y'all.
Good. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Guess what we're going to talk about today? We are going to break down BOSS. Breaking it down. BOSS Reseller Remix 2023. We are going to tell you all the highlights, lowlights, not really many lowlights, really just a whole bunch of highlights. And tell you what we thought and what we learned, everything. Let's tell them the whole nitty gritty.
There was some major FOMO going on in the community of people that couldn't make it for BOSS. So when the schedule is announced next year, I'm going to tell you, just put it on your calendar, block the time off, and you'll figure out a way to get there. You'll figure out a way to save up.
Start saving now.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. You have a little extra time because they did announce that they need a little break, and they also want to reset it to the time of year that they had originally wanted to do this before the pandemic messed with things and all that. So they are resetting. There will not be one in 2024. However, BOSS will resume in the spring of 2025. So sometime around February, March of 2025, they will get it going. So you have a little extra time to save up the money and go, and it won't be during Q4.
Right? Won't be during Q4, so you won't hurt your business so bad, which is another thing we'll talk about on you may have already seen it by the time this goes out. Well, no, the same day it goes out. Holy moly. I always, when we record, get our episodes mixed up because this goes out.
If you guys are listening on podcast, there is a whole bunch of stuff we do on YouTube. Hop over onto YouTube. We do a monthly live. If you're just on podcast, you're missing out. We do a monthly live where we talk about our month in review. So tomorrow's November 1st. We're going to be talking about October, what our sales were like, what kind of issues we had, what kind of victories we can share with you. And we encourage you to hop on live and share your thoughts in the comments as well. How was your month? And we do this every month. First Wednesday of every month. We recap the previous.
Yes. So go to YouTube. If you're already there, like, subscribe, hit that bell for the notifications because we schedule them ahead of time. So you'll see that they're upcoming. If you want help keeping track of this, go over to our Facebook group and I'll remind you like crazy in there. Usually.
Like crazy.
And I'm sure some of our new BOSS friends will be probably on the live because we really made some really awesome even new connections. We got to meet up with some older connections, with some not older friends. That's not the right terminology. With some great friends that we've made in the reselling community. And we also got to meet some new ones, which was amazing. So community is my biggest takeaway. And there are a lot of huge takeaways from BOSS, but
so let's start day one. We actually went in early. So we were all there by 12:30, 1 o'clock on Sunday. And we all got to meet together at the airport and start the whole trip off together. That's my favorite part. We were all together. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then, so we had time to get settled. I shouldn't even say settled. We had 25 hours, it seemed like, to check into a room.
That's right. We watched the Eagles play, so that was fun.
We did.
And I pretty much slept the whole time. So yeah.
It's okay. You needed it.
So the next day was super fun because Molly rented a cabana. So we can kind of meet and greet people that were in town early, hang out with fellow sea chatters, meet some new friends, and you just open that up to everybody at BOSS, the cabana, and that was really neat.
It was a lot of fun. They had changed some things since last year, but it was still a lot of fun. Everybody had a good time, and you just really get to spend a lot of downtime talking to people more quietly and longer conversations because you're not like catching a chat in between a speech or trying to talk in a bar or walking down Fremont. So you really get to sit and talk. And I got to know Juanita Margarita.
I love her.
Much better. She is like my new fave.
Love our coffee dealer.
Oh, she's our coffee dealer. She was just mortified that our hotel was going to charge us $25 for 4K cups when we drank the first four. $25. She was horrified. So she would come
Well,
every day.
that was horrifying.
It was
horrifying. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Come every day with a little baggie and hand us a baggie of K-cups.
I love her.
She was wonderful. She's such a little bright sunshine, and I just adore her. As you see, as we're talking, you'll just continually see pictures flow through here from our event. So,
Ooh, can I be doing
no,
this?
no, please don't. So, anyway, you hear me coughing. We'll get to that on day whatever. Anyway, the pool was fun, and then we had the get together that night, which Boss does a meet and greet, and they did it at its own place. They rented out, so it was nice. Last year we were in a mixed place that was open to the public plus us, and it was a little crowded and difficult. So they listened, and this year they got the whole venue for us, and it was phenomenal. It was so much fun. You really got to, again, the music was a little loud, but you could still talk. There were plenty of places for people to sit comfortably. I never had to wait more than 3 minutes, 5 minutes for a drink. You know, it just was very well done.
Yeah, because like that's what's important.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, we're
Drink
resellers.
speed.
We're resellers.
And it was nice because this was my first Boss. And I couldn't imagine any other way for that first night. Like, it was great because you want to get in there and you're catching up and seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, or that you've only met online and now you're meeting in person. But at the same time, I could walk around the room and go up to anybody in that room and say, I'm Samantha, I'm from Michigan. Like, what do you sell? Like, and you knew they were a reseller. They weren't just some random person that was there to listen to karaoke. Like,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your go-to when you walk up to somebody, just to help people out? Your first time you're at a reselling event, and let's say you're by yourself and your wingmen aren't with you because they're over chatting with somebody else, and you see somebody you don't know. What's your go-to line?
so I was over, they had that big comfy bench on the one side, and I like that. And for a moment, I found myself alone, but I also saw Dawn, Lady Arbitrage, over in the corner. And part of me said, leave her alone. She clearly wants to be alone. But the real Samantha part of me said, why is she alone? We're at a mixer. So I scooted down the thing and bumped booties with her and said, this is not the point of a mixer. What's going on? How you doing today? And I don't really have a go-to thing. I just like to get in people's face, like my dog.
Look at Diamond. Oh my gosh, y'all. If you are not watching on YouTube, you need to go over there and look at this adorable dog of hers. It's just a precious little lap puppy. So yeah, booty bump. That's Samantha's advice. You booty bump.
Yeah.
Booty bump.
I mean,
Just in people's face.
let's see. I think I just introduce myself. Hi, I'm Libby. And I ask them what they sell. Usually I ask them what they sell. That's like as far as my introduction usually goes, is my name. And then, you know, if the conversation starts up and they are interested in what I do, then of course I will provide that. But if they're not, then that's
and
okay.
most everybody is. I think that is the easiest, best icebreaker for resellers is, hey, give me your name and say, you know, I live in Pennsylvania, da da da. What do you do with your business? What kind of things do you sell? And boom, you can talk for hours. We can all talk for hours about what we do.
I think if it's a local event, the going with what you sell, or maybe your style, you know, I buy outright, I like to thrift, I do consignment. But when it was such a big event like that and people are from all over, I would start with saying I was from Michigan, and people were like, oh, that sounds cold. So many people asked me why I wasn't using my hands. And I was like, what? Diamond, go lay down. Diamond, go lay down. They're like, you're from Michigan. Why aren't you using your hands? Because you can put up, I don't know how to do it on here, but you can put up the mittens and show people that I live way up here. And people were disappointed that I wasn't using my visual aids for my state very well.
No, I don't know if Pennsylvania has, I don't know if we have a state visual aid.
You're just going to have to start carrying a cutout like in your pocket and be like, I'm from, guess what state I'm from, and see if people know what the shape of Pennsylvania
is. That's a good icebreaker. Maybe I'll do that next year. I don't know. 2025, shape state cutouts. I like that.
Mine is not visual, it's verbal. Hey, y'all.
And they know you're from the South.
Yep.
You kept going to the bar to replenish drinks. I don't even know if you got to drink any of them, but you were going to the bar, and then I would look over like, where's Molly? And there you were just surrounded by people because you'd go over by the bar where the door was. So as people came in, they were just like, Molly, and you were just constantly surrounded by people.
That's what I always say. I just set myself down and let the people come to me. No, I'm just kidding. I actually moved around a lot this year. Last year it was just too daggum crowded. You couldn't even, but this year it was nice. I was inside, I was outside, I was at the benches at a table. It was just really nice to be able to.
Yeah, it was really easy to step outside if you got too loud or overwhelmed, which I didn't feel like it was crowded really, but you could step outside and just.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Fremont Street would be quieter in a more calming area?
Right. Well, you were kind of off the main part of it, which was nice, but so I've had some new people that night. There were a lot of new people this year, which was nice.
Yeah, when they asked at like how many people were new, it seemed like almost half, right? At least.
Good. Yeah.
That was really cool to see.
Yeah.
And people that we don't necessarily get to interact with because they're selling. These are like there were a lot of really serious sellers that maybe don't have a YouTube, maybe don't do social media. Like they are just walking the walk, heads down, selling, being bosses, right? So that's kind of cool about Boss is that these people just, I don't want to say come out of the woodwork, but that is what I'm going to say, come out of the woodwork. And we might see them once or twice a year. They're not really on social media, but we get to hang out with them and meet them. And I love that so much.
And my Liz came, which I kept haggling her all year long. My Liz, you have to come, which is Liz O'Kane. For those that don't know, my Liz, that's what I call her. And I was so excited when she finally messaged me a month ago. Guess what? I decided I'm coming. And I'm like, woo! And we talked like twice the whole week. Like we just never, all I wanted was for my Liz to come. And we talked like twice all week.
I said that Trish, Glenn, and I were talking about that yesterday about how there was just, we talked to a lot of people, but we didn't really get a lot of time with certain people, which is just one more reason why I love that they do the mixers, and the cabana time was fantastic, and all those little extra things to crawl, because if we didn't have those times, we really wouldn't have felt like we talked to anybody.
Right. No, I agree. All right, so that was fun that first night. Let's go to day one. First of all, y'all, I have to say, even though we got through our tears of our friend Diane Lasan coming to the pool with us on pool day and seeing her there, walking in the door of the Blind Center of Nevada, and there was our Diane working her job at the registration, which is her table. She likes to own it. She likes to run it. She likes to rep it. That is her place. And I couldn't help but cry again. And it's so nice to see her there.
So I listened to the eBay for Business podcast this week or last week or whenever they released it. And they did started their little recap, and they had that on there, and Diane was just happy to be there. And I never thought I'd cry during Griff's podcast, but it was amazing getting to see her when she didn't think that she would be at another one.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to listen to that. I haven't listened. I'm a little behind.
Come on.
So y'all, if you don't know what we're talking about, you go to Fearless Living. Look, I actually have the card here. Oh, it won't go on my light. Fearless Living, and learn about Diane and her journey as she is living with cancer, and great ways to support her mission. And what she has put together is Fearless Living, which the money goes to the Blind Center of Nevada. We can talk more about that later as we get to day, whatever it is, 3. We'll talk a little more about it, but just so we're not leaving you in the blind, if you don't know who Diane Lassonde is, Fearless Living is where you'll find out so much more about her and her story, and on YouTube. All right,
Now,
so one, we
now
go
when
in
you're
there, go.
sitting in the blind center, do you realize how much people reference, especially when they're saying like normal phrases like that, how much they reference eyesight? I mean, how many
Oh,
times
yeah.
did we
Yes.
sit there and go, "Ooh, that wasn't the best choice of words," or "Oh, that was funny," like, and you just did it.
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. Like sitting there and for a while I was able to sit with Gary, one of the workers at the Blind Center of Nevada, who is
Yes.
legally blind. It kind of put me a little bit in his shoes, like, because we were watching a lot of the presentations.
Mhm.
How difficult it must be, and how this world is just not set up for people that are visually impaired. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it really, like, when we were chatting about the presentations or stuff, I realized there was so much that he
That
wasn't
visually
able to see.
Yeah,
Right.
there were gaps because
Yeah.
we all had PowerPoints and
Right.
visual aids and even just gestures. I mean, I'm moving my hands and doing all these things, and yeah. But it was so yeah, he got to sit with us for part of it. He did part of the outings. He went on the crawl, the Fremont crawl and stuff with us, and that was awesome, getting to know him more and interacting with
So
all of them.
amazing. We got to do
So
that last year too with him. He went to the crawl last year. So I was glad when he said, I'm doing it again this year.
yeah, he
And
had
he
fun.
said,
It
this
was
is
good.
my favorite event of all year. I look forward to this every year. I cannot wait for it to come. And I was like, oh,
Same.
Yeah, because
right, we're all in the same boat there.
right. We love you, Gary.
let's give a shout out to them though, because like we're exhausted from all the peopling or the presentations or the little tasks that we have. They have to work the entire thing plus do their normal stuff that they're that the whole crew at the Blind Center, thank you.
Yes.
I'm
And deal
sure
with the
you all had to sleep for a week.
right? The overstimulation of their senses, all the noise that they hear, because they say when you lose one, your others are more intense. So their hearing is probably a lot stronger, more intense than ours. And we are a loud bunch of people with a lot of going on. And
Speak for yourself. I'm quiet.
yeah, I mean, what was one morning, Samantha's like, I don't want a people today. I don't want a people, we're like, we got to go people, think about how they feel. Oh, and all they do is smile. They're just happy to be there. They're happy to have us. They're happy to be there. They're happy they have this wonderful place to go to. And it's terrific. Terrific. So yeah, we got awesome swag bags. I wish I had my Boss one to show you, but Boss now gave us out some of the big IKEA bags. It's all the rage, these IKEA bags with logos. And I love them. If everybody wants to do one and give me one, I'd love to have it. I just think they're awesome, because I'm tired of all the ones matching, all the blue IKEA.
Oh my gosh, my entire e-basement is blue IKEA bags. It's so cool that I have like an eBay one, a ListPerfectly one, a Boss one.
My reseller Genie
interspersed in there. Oh yeah, my reseller Genie. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was excited. I had a Poshmark one that was like Consignment Chats teal, but I've only used it like 3 times and the handle broke.
What?
I know. I might have to message them and see if they can send me some more.
Oh gosh, Mark.
Totally would. I mean, 3 times and the handle broke.
I know.
I mean, the things I've done to my IKEA brand ones.
That's why I was like, this isn't even that heavy. And my husband's like, no, it's not. Normally you load those things down a lot more.
So we had to go Saturday to hand deliver an eBay order that somebody ordered, that there was a mix up with their address. And she's emailing me, oh my gosh, somehow eBay got the wrong address. I don't live in that state. And I looked, and she actually lives right here in Greensboro. So I told her, don't worry, I have another one of those. We'll figure it out with them, but I will hand deliver you one, because she needed it for something that she was working on now, right? So I said, my husband, I'll bring one. She's like, well, how many more do you have? Well, she ended up buying 3. They're spools of trim. And so I was like, yeah, I'll bring you 3. So she paid for them at eBay, and then Nick and I go, and Nick's putting the spools in, and he puts them in my reseller Genie bag, and he goes, here, okay, we're ready. We'll just give her the bag. And I went, like, hell, we're going to give her my reseller Genie bag? No way. She is not getting my reseller genie bag. So when we got there, he goes in the back and comes out with the spools under his arms and no bag because he knew I was going to be like, I'm sorry, man, but you cannot have my bag. My bag.
That's awesome.
So speaking of my reseller genie, so we come in, we got all our cool swag.
Yeah.
eBay had things like we all got mine's sitting right here, a little light box, little fold up travel like small light box.
Oh yeah, mine's for
Um,
sale on my eBay store. So if anybody
there
wants
you
one
go.
and you missed out, then go to my eBay store and buy it. Yeah.
Some people, yeah, they all got this awesome sticky note from Consignment Chats.
Little book of
Mhm.
stickies. Yeah.
Yes. So we
That
got
is
cool.
not for sale in my eBay store because I love it and I'm keeping it. Okay.
Mine.
You know it's good because I will sell just about anything anybody gives me.
Yeah.
But that I'm keeping and using. Okay.
I've already got some stickies on my computer. Anyway, go ahead.
So we got our cool swag. We went and we put them in our spots where we were going to sit, which was right up front the first day, which was great as far as me loving to interact and interrupt with all the speakers. I'm quite good at that. Terrible for my head though. We were sitting right in front of that speaker and
So loud.
oh my gosh. I don't know if it was partial nerves and all that. I didn't eat but it was so loud. But we put our stuff down and then we went upstairs and only had a few minutes, but they had some awesome vendors there.
Oh yeah.
Getting to meet Paul and Faith from My Reseller Genie, awesome, the sweetest people.
Wait, you hadn't met them?
I didn't even get to do.
I feel like every time I turn around, I'm seeing them. Okay.
I know. I love them so much. Favorite people.
Fun fact, their episode was like the only one that I've missed, like interview wise, was when we interviewed. I had to miss it.
Oh, I didn't even realize you weren't there.
I remember that.
So I'd never even met them virtually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was
got the nicest people in the whole wide world.
The nicest people. Like, oh my gosh. I
just love them. I just love them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have amazing product and they do lots of awesome things, but yeah, sweetest people in the whole world. I feel like I still don't really know them, but I could call them right now at 3 a.m. and they would probably come across the country to help me with something. I don't know. They're just amazing people.
Right?
I mean, the reseller community is so lucky to have them, not only be a part of the reseller community and be supportive, but develop a software that's helping us all. So,
right.
Yeah.
And we got a code for that.
And they're consignment ready, in case you haven't heard us say that yet. They are implementing steps in their process so you can have consigners and make it work for that. So definitely check it out.
It's pretty cool. I've tried it out. It's pretty neat.
So, and I do love what you're saying about the vendor room, all the vendors they had there. I love having that separate room for them. And I love that, like, if you run over and they start the conference downstairs, it's okay to continue talking because you're not interrupting what's going on downstairs.
Yes.
Because they're in their own separate space. So you're not having to worry about, being obnoxiously loud or something. You can still continue the conversation, like Samantha. But I just like it all. And I like that they're all around the outside. And then in the middle, they have a couple of tables. You can walk around the outside, but you can also be in the middle, still talking and loving on people you hadn't seen in a while, but you're not then in the way of it's just very well set up. It's very well set up.
Yeah. So eBay was there. I did just get a message. They had a growth advisor there. I did just get an email from them. Which I'm really excited to meet.
No, they brought a team this year. eBay had a
team.
I mean, that's the first time that team came like that. What were there, 5?
5 or 6. It was
Brian
crazy.
Burke was there.
And that was not including the speakers that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they had Brian and Kaomi. They're the ones that do the seller meetings and the seller engagement. So they're definitely like always at all these great events. But then they had their 3 other gentlemen there helping them and their table. Okay. People complain about eBay all day long. We see it in all of the reseller groups and all of the forums. They had a table, and I mean a 6-foot folding table dedicated to problems. They had sections and they had all these beautiful colored sticky notes and pens. And they had sections like, what's your least favorite part of the app? What do you want to see change here? What do you need in the, and they just wanted people's feedback. Like, go there, put your complaints down, and they'll see what they can fix. Like, they were so open to hearing all the issues so that they can fix them.
And you
love
got a big issue fixed there right at the eBay table, didn't you?
Yes, so I loved it. I brought my laptop right in on day 2 and I went up and I said, Kanomi, I'm sick of emailing back and forth. Let's get this figured out. And my seller meeting, it took her like 2 seconds to she just needed to see my screen so she could see like, oh, that's why it's not connecting. And we got it fixed. And I then went back downstairs and scheduled my meeting while people were speaking, and I did that. So I was all set up, good to go.
Perfect.
And then she gave
What's
me a $25 eBay card.
Wait, what?
He gave me a $25 eBay card for coming in and getting some stuff done. Yeah.
How about that?
Wow.
Just sprinkling that love all over the place.
How about
Loved it.
that?
So what's the name of your meetup now that you're official?
So if you are in Michigan, I am the Upper and Northern Michigan chapter. So the Northern Lower Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula, and also like Western Northern Ontario. If you want to come over, I'm right on the border. So make the trip over. I do a monthly, I already do a monthly, we meet at a cafe, we have coffee. It's like, sometimes it's only 2 of us, sometimes it's 5 or 6 of us. It's not very big. We just chit chat. Sometimes we're there for an hour, sometimes we're there for 5. Depends on how it's going. There's great food. We keep the party going. So yeah, we just do every month, just drop in and have some coffee and chit chat with people. That I have one lady, she just wants to come and vent because her husband doesn't want to hear anything reselling. He doesn't want to hear anything about these people that she meets with. If she says one single tiniest complaint, he says, then just quit doing it. And so she comes in and she
Feel their pain.
It's not a nag fest. It's not like she's full of negativity, but she comes in and she just always wants to get like one story off her chest. Like, I had a buyer that did this.
Yeah.
And she gets it off her chest, and then we sit there and chit chat the rest of the time, and it works out great.
That is so, yeah. I mean, it's so important to have people that not only are willing to listen, but understand. I mean, we talked about that in so many episodes, but you know, I had a laugh when you said that, when her husband says, well, then just quit, because that is the response I generally get from my family if I need to vent or complain. Well, you don't need to just quit.
Yeah.
Just close the business.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's so nice to be surrounded by people that get that, and you can vent, and they're like, yeah, I get it. I get it. I had a situation like that.
And then to have members where it doesn't turn into a big negativity thing either, because you got to have that balance. So we're not just sitting in the coffee shop just bitching the whole time. That's not what we're for. Right. But it's a group of people that just get it. And so go find a local chapter and meet up in your area. I know there were a few other people that were signing up, and people that were going to get old ones going again. So make sure you check on eBay for meetups and things like that.
Yeah, it's eBay seller events page. If you Google that, it'll come up, eBay seller events, and you can find one in your area. And if there isn't one, you can start one. If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help build community and get you connected with the right people.
There's virtual ones too. I know that Katie, Vicky, and Teresa, who hosted BOSS, also host a BOSS virtual meetup that I have attended meetings for. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of options.
Yep. So day one, the gentleman, his name is just
Adam Ireland.
Huh?
Adam Ireland.
Oh, our eBay guy with the nice.
Is that who you're talking about? I don't know. You just said gentleman, and I interrupted.
So, wait, are we going to talk more about the vendor room?
Oh, okay. If there's more to say.
I feel like there might be a couple more things to say. I mean, we had Worth Point there. There was what?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you had a little connection to Worth Point, which was exciting for you.
So I went to the Worth Point. It was exciting to me. Nobody else. That's fine. We went to the Worth Point. I went to the Worth Point table, and they had those, I cannot think of the name of them now, but the little things. Yeah, Viewmasters. And they had them, and they had special Worth Point slides that you could put in them. And as long as you shared a social media post with their hashtag or something, you got one. And so I was just asking them, a couple virtual people had asked me what they were. So I was asking them some questions. I had zero desire to ever use WorthPoint. I think Terapeak, which eBay offers, is great, and it's really all the research I need. I don't like spending a lot of money in different places. However, I talked to these guys for a total of like 3 minutes, and now I want a WorthPoint subscription. So it does a way more than I realized, and it sounds pretty great. But while we were talking, our name tags, all they would say like Samantha speaker, and then they would say what state you're from, which was so cool. And I'm so glad they did that for everybody that came in. So the guy looked at me and he goes, Michigan. I'm from Michigan, but you wouldn't know where. And I was like, try me. And he said Ishpeming, and I about screamed and jumped up and down. And I said, no crap. I am like 3.5 hours away. I'm in the UP. We were Uper. We hugged. Oh man, we're going to go to each other's kids' birthdays or something. I don't know. We're best friends now. So
love it.
We had our little Uper moment. I'm pretty sure he was the only other person from Michigan there, it seemed like. And he doesn't live in Michigan anymore. So whatever.
Love it.
So, all right, I think we need to mention probably our biggest investment excitement was the Thrifty app in the vendor room. You guys will hear a lot about the Thrifty app from Consignment Chats over the coming months. It is something we have been involved in, consulting on. There's this wonderful woman who is launching this app, the Thrifty app, that connects sellers and people that want to sell their stuff. And it's all geo-based. It's pretty amazing. It's in the pilot phase right now, but she was there meeting people, recruiting founding members, and just talking about all the ways that Thrifty is going to work. And I think it is, there's nothing like this out there right now. And I think it is just exciting. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead, download the app. Feel free to send us any questions, comments. I'm just so excited about that. It was after working with her for a few months, it was really exciting to be able to meet Rebecca in person. Just as phenomenal as I thought she was going to be, and her drive and her passion are just so inspiring.
Yeah, and she got a great response there. She got lots of people signed up, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, I had people coming up every day over and over again. So I just met the Thrifty app girl, and y'all were working with them. Oh my gosh, I love her. They were all excited.
We're sprinkling that consignment all around. Everybody be consignment ready.
Right?
Right. This is the connection so many people need it, whether it is, finding inventory to sell through consignment, or getting a little help with your money mountain from somebody in your area.
Yes.
That is also a big thing.
Yes, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be that directory like we have longed for and wanted in so many areas of, well, consignment sounds great, but I already have too many things. How do I find someone that consigns near me? And we hope that in the coming months, we can say, download the Thrifty app. We'll get you hooked up with somebody.
Yep.
So we're working on it. I love it. Rebecca's great.
Super excited.
Also, ListPerfectly was in there. LP, our friends that we adore.
All that swag. They had all kinds of stuff there.
They are always mega swagged out. Always. Yeah. They have the swag like no other.
Yeah. I know they saved my butt because I wore a white shirt on day 2, and I had said to you guys before leaving, I don't know if I should wear a white shirt. I'm probably going to spill something on it. I was literally there, had like 5 pictures taken with people. I had coffee all down the front of my shirt. So anyway, I got a nice black ListPerfectly shirt, and I was representing for the rest of the day. So thanks for saving my butt.
They're here. They got your back no matter what you need.
Right.
So the other extra special thing in that room was the Fearless Living Silent auction tables. People were able to donate items. It was a very, I think, last minute thing that got put together. And so Diane and her daughter Jennifer reached out to some people and said, hey, do you have anything to donate? We were just told we could have some tables and do a silent auction. And so, of course, we Consignment Chats girls were like, we got you. So we donated some items for the table. They did really well. They did really well. I got some things. I did. I got because Samantha wants to know all about it. I did end up, I like to do quotes, winning the donating for a year's subscription to WorthPoint. So we will get to play around with WorthPoint and learn more about it because I've never really done much with that. So I'm going to enjoy.
Boy, we could have used that when we did all of that silver you had.
True.
It would have been awesome.
I still have more I can use it with.
Yeah, because they apparently have like a Maker's Mark dictionary in there, and oh my lord, the things they were talking about, I had no idea they had.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some fun with that. I'm excited. I can't wait till they get that information. I can get that account signed up and start going in there and messing around. What else did I get? Oh, and I got
bought me that beautiful shawl that Jennifer knitted.
Yes. Libby was down and out at the end. We lost her for the last day and a half or so. And so she had bid on a scarf, a yellow scarf that Jennifer Lasan had knitted. And when I got there the day she wasn't there, she was outbid. And so I watched it all day and watched people bid. And then finally at the end, I went, boop. And I thought, Libby is not feeling well. So we are going to bring her this scarf and help brighten her day. So
it was so sweet and so beautiful, and it was yellow. It was
yellow like sunshine.
Yeah, thank you.
And then I got a Lululemon well, we call it fanny pack. I know they have 8,000 new terms for those now. Belt bag, whatever you want to call it. But I bought it originally, and yes, I paid, when you do these things, you pay triple for what you could just go get one. But I thought I'm going to give this to my niece for Christmas because she's a Lululemon freak, and so this will be great for her. But then after I got it, sorry, Ryan. Yeah, I'm keeping it. It's hot.
Oh no!
Yeah. Literally, she was like, "Here, Libby, I got this for you. You won it. Here we go. Here. Oh, this is gonna wait. This is pretty cute. Oh, wait, does this? Oh." I got a Lululemon bag.
Sorry, little niece, you'll get something else, but not the hot pink Lululemon bag. That is now mine. And I didn't even know it till I got back here. When I opened it, there was a Starbucks gift card inside too.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
But anyway, there were a lot of amazing things. Funniest items were that you could bid on a Zoom date with Snoop Doggy. He started that. We had a couple others come in behind and throw their faces up there to do the same thing. So we had Casey, Paris, Rockstar Flipper, and who else? Somebody else. There was one other that put.
Remember.
Oh my gosh, I do. It's was it Crystal's husband?
Oh, Angel. Yes, Angel. It was for Rosie's Closet, and
So you could bid and get a Zoom date with them. So they went for some good money.
Those went over very well. That was very fun.
That was really a lot of fun that they did that. I liked that.
So who won Snoop Dougie's date?
Did Susie get the final one on that? I know Susie.
Might have been Susie. I think it might have been.
Oh, okay.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So. And then I saw Diane later on in the Facebook group. She was like, Dougie, you better make sure that you're going to Uber Eats her some dinner that night. Like, you need to do the whole thing.
You do it right. Oh. Right? I love it.
Oh, that's really cute. That's really smart.
Yeah. I love it.
Wow.
So anyway, it was a great room up there. They always do such a wonderful job. And then they have the lounge room that I think eBay may have been the ones that did the lounge room this year.
Yep,
I never went in, y'all.
I was going to say I didn't either.
I did go in, so I had to take a phone call at one point, and I wandered in there just trying to find like a quiet area. Oh my god, it was so like nice and peaceful, and like they have such good seating and stuff there anyways. But yeah, like you could just relax. I would end up going in there a couple different times when I just needed a minute. So it was very nice.
So I found it at the end last year. WorthPoint was the one that sponsored it last year. And I found it at the very end last year and spent the last day for like an hour charging my phone and doing some work in there. But this year, I just never got there. I just never did. So anyway.
Well, and we did good with our phones until the very last day.
Right?
Talk about that.
That last day, I really could have used some chargers big time. All right.
Well, you stole Doug's for a minute. It was fine.
So conference, all the things for day one, y'all. Let's hit some highlights here real quick. Libby's got
So it started with eBay. They were the key. Adam Ireland's and Anna Packer were kind of did the, I'll call it the keynote address there. I don't know if
Anna did a great job, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought she
It was like
very
it was like our own little mini eBay open there for the first hour or so. It was awesome because Rebecca was there off to the side, so she answered some questions for people like not during the presentation. And then, of course, we had Ken the Hustlebee, and him and Anna and a third person are going to have a new podcast for eBay. So we got like the whole eBay open experience right there in the beginning.
Yeah, it was
nice. And I mean, I could listen to him talk all day. I love a good accent. I love it.
And he gave good information. There were some, and of course, the eBay for Business podcast played clips specifically from his talk because he explained really well some of the burning questions that people have about eBay Motors and item specifics and things. And he did a good job. Anna asked some good questions.
Agreed. And they talked a lot about, eBay catches a lot of heat for the sneakers and trading cards. And they did a really good explanation of why they concentrate on those categories and how it's helping all eBay sellers, and how like as they move and do authenticity in that vertical market, like eventually it will move out horizontally to other markets and build that buyer trust, so people are buying other things on eBay. So for anybody that is constantly like, and I kind of was too, I gotta say, before I heard the explanation.
So when you see people selling car parts or sneakers, you thank them. They said that's the moral of the story. Yeah. Just thank them. So we all turned around and said, thanks, Ken.
And I think our eBay Open last year when we did our recap, thank you. I think I mentioned it then because a lot of people were like, every time they pull somebody from motors or sneakers, everybody would complain, and you'd see them typing in complaints. And I kept saying, why? Like, I want to hear their stories. I don't care what you're selling. It doesn't matter what you sell. It's how you got yourself there and what you did to get there. If you can, like, I just felt like I understand they want to say, why is it always them and not me? But at the same time, don't be so negative that you shut it out, because you can learn something from every one of those sellers. Yeah. Even if you sell motor parts, hearing their journeys and how they did what they did and where they got, you're going to be inspired and you're going to learn. So don't get so, well, he was finally the first eBay person who actually put a cork in it.
Yeah.
Felt like if I could take that and play it like in a reel repeatedly, just that one clip about that.
I mean, I was one of those people, not that I disparaged anybody that was up there talking and didn't appreciate their stories and learn something from them, because I certainly did. It was just, maybe I felt like us everything sellers, which the majority of the people I know are everything sellers, we're not represented. We're not being represented. And until I heard him with that explanation, I did feel a little bit that way. Like I didn't quite get it. And I felt not represented. Like I felt like the concentration was on, sneakers and trading cards and motors. And it was, I don't know. It was, I'm going to just be honest. It was a little frustrating for me, but I felt happy when I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, his explanation was perfect, because then it makes you step back and look at the big picture and how those things trickle down to other categories and other processes. And yeah, it was good.
I think sometimes you just have to stop and look and go, you know what? This company is where it is and what it is for a reason. And sometimes, even though you don't like something, you got to sit back and trust that in the end, there may be glitches along the way, but they are wanting to continue to grow and succeed. And they are doing what they, from their research and their knowledge, what's best for the businesses. So sometimes I know it's hard to trust that when you're mad that they changed their entire platform in Q4 or something like that. And you're like, what? But
did that happen?
Right. But in the end, you just have to remember they're not in it to put us in the ground like that. They want us to succeed. So just
like we reassure our consigners, we're going to get you the best prices because that makes us money. It's the same with eBay. They're going to put the best practices in place because that's what gets them their money as well.
Right.
So Yeah.
They want us all to succeed because us succeeding is them succeeding.
And how often do we complain about other platforms that try to do it all at once and they don't focus on a certain category or a certain aspect and learn from it? Instead, they just try to do everything and then they don't last.
Right.
Mhm.
True that. True that.
Yeah.
All right. Who was next? Libby, you have the schedule there that
I
you're
don't have the schedule here. No, I just took random notes here. I'm sorry.
I don't have the schedule either. My mom took it as a souvenir because I was in it.
Love that. Your mom was one of our
Oh, that's so
virtual.
cute. Oh my gosh. But I do want to say, so the MC of the event, the moderator, Dom, who's absolutely phenomenal and so incredibly gifted. I mean, she keeps this thing flowing. She extracts information and like pertinent, things from each speaker. I mean, she's just unreal at engagement. Unreal.
She is. I grabbed her a couple times and I thanked her and I just wanted her to realize that she had such a gift. Like, my God, it is one thing to keep people on track and to do what you're doing, but when you summarize everybody's segment,
it's an ADD person's dream come true. If I fog out during that, I don't have to worry because Dom's got my back. She is going to give it to me at the end, and I'm going to know the most important points about what I missed because I'm fogged out.
I mean, sometimes she like extracted a point I didn't even realize, like I didn't even get at it. Like I'm like, where did she even? Wow, yeah, that's so right. But one of the things she said was that, and I really appreciate this, is we always talk in book club about how it's action oriented and implementation oriented. And she talked about put a date on the calendar where you're going to develop a strategy. Don't go home and try to implement everything you learned. Like put a date on the calendar, and that's a date you're going to, implement one thing. Mm-hmm. And you're going to put that into action, like let it process, but you're going to have that date where you're actually going to put something in place that you take home. So haven't done that yet. You'll find out why shortly, but I think we all should do that, whether we were virtual attendees, whether we're watching the recap, whether there's something we say here today that speaks to you. I think putting a date on the calendar, picking one thing to implement is great. So that was the next thing I had on there.
All right.
Then we had Kevin, the Commonwealth Picker. He spoke. All right. Next up, Chaz Leslie. I don't know whether that was day 2 though.
Chaz was day 2.
Oh, okay. All right. So I skipped over.
I'm pretty sure Chaz was day 2.
Well, we were day 1. We were day 1.
So the people
we were.
That's why my notes kind of blank out. I was freaking out because we had to get up and talk.
Yeah, that group that ended day 1, that group of chicks. Who went before them when they were nervous and wanting to go back and forth to the bathroom? Who was before them?
I'm pulling up the schedule right here.
It was Tiffany Thrifting Vegas, right?
It was
right before us. Yeah,
it was. Y'all, she's the cutest. I just adore her. I watch her all the time, and I just find her to be so pleasant.
It's the accent thing again, isn't it?
It is. I do love a good accent, but
I mean, she is so sweet.
Pleasant. She's just a pleasant person. Like that's the only word, the best word I can come up with her. Everything is just pleasant. Like you learn a little, you feel, I don't know. It's just, I like her a lot. I like her a lot.
She was having some issues with social media and some things that were some fake pages that we've seen that happen to several people in the community where scammers are taking advantage of YouTubers. And so we all whipped our phones out and made sure that we were following the correct profile in the correct spot. And then she did some cool giveaways and stuff at the end. So that was a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She did a great job. She was good to listen to.
Yeah, so she talked about tips on how to thrift and the best way to source, and then we jumped up there and said, "Don't do that. Do consignment." No,
funny that we went right behind her.
It was funny, but no, we did it so we can supplement and how to diversify your sourcing so that you can implement her tips and ours and make sure that you're getting all the good stuff.
Yes. So I was proud of us. I think we did a good job. I didn't say too much. I kind of stayed over by the clicker, But
That's okay. I can
Samantha,
talk
I
for
felt like
everybody.
I felt like Oprah took you over, man. You were up there. You had that
Yeah.
mic. You were walking around in front of the gate. You were going, girl.
He
You
was
had it.
strutting.
Okay.
You were like,
Well, let's just say it did help that day one, which was this day that we spoke, I sit down and the camera for all the virtual people is right next to our table. And that's the little box where they need to speak in. There's no marker on this side. You know why? Because that's where Samantha's butt is in the chair. So I've got my friends and my mom and who knows who texting me, messaging me saying, hey, turn this way, look this way. Don't scowl like that. Fix your hair. What do you, oh, look at your pretty smile. Like, no matter how I sat after lunch, I had to move my chair and sit a different way. And some part of me was in every part of day one. So by the time we went up, even though I was nervous as heck, I'd already been in front of the camera all day. So,
like, may as well get the full scene now. But it was good. We had a lot of great questions following it. Again, even until the last day, had people coming up and asking the last day for advice and how can I connect with you? I really want to, get more help with this idea. I love the idea of adding consignment to my business. And yes, I thought it went really, really well. And then
there's still a couple people we still need to connect with because there's going to be a lot of follow-up from that.
Yeah. So, and that night was free night. That was a free night. And we ended up going to, we were invited to dinner with our brothers and sisters that our brother and sisters, Joe and Nicole of I'd Flip That, right? And Kristen and Angie of Let's Do Lunch podcast. And then we had Mimi and Dawn also join us. And we went to dinner at the taco place, the Mexican place that we went last year.
Nacho Daddy.
Nacho Daddy.
So fun to say.
I know. And
I was like, oh, please let me say it. Nacho Daddy.
It was so good last year. We went back for a second time this year. The margaritas are good. The nachos are good.
Great food, great staff. It was, it was good.
Yeah. We really enjoyed it.
Yep.
Had a nice long dinner talking. Everybody had the, who you were near, and it just was a nice time.
Oh, I wish I could have dinner with them every night. Like, it was so fun. I talked a lot with Joe, and then Kristen and I shared our dinner and talked with them. And yeah, it's so nice. And I had never met any of those people in person other than you and Libby. So having these relationships and talking with them online, and we're in each other's shows or we have private messages, but then being able to actually sit down and say, okay, and granted, they're all just as you see them. Only we swear a little bit more in real life. So that was nice to really truly know that they were my people.
Yep, 100%. Without a doubt, our people.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was a lot of fun. They are all just super cool, super real. And I can only see our relationships growing deeper and stronger as the years go by, because we all really connected on a great level.
We started the dinner with Angie yelling at us.
Yeah. So
in the nicest way. The
nicest yelling you'd ever hear.
It was great. I love her 1,000 times more than I did before now.
Right? So. I know. So
love her so much.
Day 2 of the actual conference, we wake up.
Wait, we were gonna wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and we were gonna go in early, and we were gonna do the tour of the blind center, and we were gonna talk to more vendors.
Wow.
Barely made it in time for the first presentation.
Yeah, well, 3 girls sharing one space, we got there, and I have to say we look pretty good, and we got there.
We did. That's right.
Yeah.
We had our coffee, so that was good, right? Like, we did good.
Yeah, definitely.
We did good. All right, so day 2. I can't remember who was there day 2. Hopefully, Libby.
Let me look. Wednesday, day 2.
Okay.
So Chaz from the Side Hustle Network, he was the first one, and I love a good lean program. If anybody knows what that means, maybe from your old day job or your current day job. He talked a lot about processes and organization, and you're only as good as the processes that you're implementing. And a lot of people just need to get out of their own way, which we hear Libby say all the time. You're in your own way. There's so many excuses and reasons why people aren't implementing or doing things or hiring people or whatever. And he went way over on his time because he had so many slides and so many awesome tips.
And nobody was upset about it because we
Nobody.
all were loving everything that came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So I want to put this right here, right now. You guys, if you did not get a virtual ticket or an actual ticket, and you did not get to become a part of this year's private group on Facebook for BOSS 2023, you can still buy a ticket and you can still use C-Chats. Awesome. And you can still get a ticket and be able to access all of these things and see this stuff, because he actually that day after the fact got on and loaded in all of his pictures into that page so we could go through and look at the way his business was organized and set up and lined up, and talk about somebody who's, my door is open. My door is open. I'm here for you. We say that to you guys every day, all day long, and we mean it.
Come to us.
And I do hear people that say it, and I know they don't mean it. This guy means it. We mean it. He wants to help businesses grow 100%.
And he had a very limited, he spoke on Wednesday. I think he got in on Tuesday. And he had to leave either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Like, he was there for a very short window. But before he arrived, like, he was at the airport and he was like, all right, guys, I know I'm not going to be there for the beginning, so I'm just throwing these tips out there. This is, don't go home and implement a bunch of stuff. Don't take all these ridiculous notes like this. Leave the first page of your notebook blank so you can put your goals. Like, he was giving tips before he even arrived. Golden tips, like amazing tips.
So you can have access to all this if you're a virtual ticket. All that's going to be up there forever. So we can go back and read any of this, watch any of this, look at any of this. So you can still get it. When I tell you, I loved BOSS last year, loved it. Obviously, I mean, you've heard us rave about it all year long.
All year.
But the content this year was amazing. Amazing. So just when you brought him up, because I just thought everybody was great, but he really he
was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he saved me time, money, and I've only listened to it once. I'm going back with the virtual. I'm going back and listening to it virtually again. Because the tips and tricks I picked up, or the things that I needed reinforced, he nailed it.
Yeah. And I have seen other people go on already and post how they've already gone home and rearranged their office spaces and stuff to work in a flow that he recommended. And I'm like, wow, those look great. Great.
Yeah. And it brought me, so after I left my job at the hospital, I mean, you guys know, I didn't want to touch a Google Calendar for a long time. It probably took me a year to touch a Google Calendar. There's a lot of things that I like almost had PTSD from. Like, I was triggered by those things because I had to do so much of it and whatever. But then he started talking about the lean process, and I immediately ordered a book that I have somewhere. It came in. But like, while he was talking, I was ordering things off eBay. And the lean process, it brought me back now, years later, that I can thoughtfully look back and take things. I was like, oh yeah, I love the lean process. I love implementing that. And I remembered how we did it at the hospital and parts that I could take and implement now. And that, I loved it.
And don't worry, we did add it on the list for a possible future book club book.
I have my list right here. Yep.
Yes. He had some great recommendations for sure. So after him was ListPerfectly. And now Clara did not get to come. So it was supposed to be Clara and Amanda, both co-founders. Clara was not able to make it. She had to keep track of stuff there, and she needed some time to reset. They have been sponsoring everything. If there was a major event this year, including eBay Open, they sponsored it. They sponsored Posh Fest. They sponsored the Resell Rally, the one that was in Ohio. They went to all of them. This poor ListPerfectly team showed up at BOSS. Oh, I felt so like poor little Josh. He was just walking around like a little zombie. I'm like, boy, you need to go home and spend some time with your family.
They look tired. They did.
Yes.
They were tired.
So
But they
Clara
still smiled.
They did. They were
Yeah.
still there for us. So Clara stayed back and she took care of some stuff that needed to be taken care of in Arizona. Amanda came for a short period before she had to go across the country to take care of her family. So there was a lot going on for them, but they came. Amanda and Dougie did the presentation, and honestly, I love them all, and I've told one of them already it was not a great presentation just because they had pre-recorded the movements. So they didn't do a slideshow, they did a video with no sound, and then they had intended to voice over and just talk about it while it was going through. Well, the video was very fast.
Too fast
Very
for
fast.
Amanda to keep up with.
Honestly, it was probably Clara's speed. Clara could have kept up with that. They're different speeds. Love you guys, both of you. So it was a bit too fast, and she was trying to hit all the points and it wasn't quite working, and Doug did a good job trying to get points in there as well. The video finally ended and they just talked. They talked about the Pro Plus plan that's out now that we talk about a lot, and they talked about Listing Party, which we also talk about a lot.
So I have to say this, y'all. They're trying to talk about Listing Party. They're trying. They're doing an okay job. But we're sitting at the table and I'm with, wait a minute. We are sitting here next to Queen of the Listing Party. Why are you not up there talking? I turn a point. I go, you get up there. You go,
I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, say this. No, say this. No. And I'm like slamming my water bottle on the table. And she's like, just go.
Go take the mic. So she did. She did. She went right up there and took the mic and spoke.
And I think you did a beautiful job of explaining it. It was awesome. It was
awesome. So I mean, you don't really need to watch that part because we are an infomercial for them all the time anyways. I live and breathe Listing Party. They had some of their new swag stickers said I am Listing Party or something like that, and
I am a Listing Party animal.
That's what it was. I have it.
And Molly and I both grabbed one for Samantha because we were laughing so hard
at separate times.
Yeah.
Yes, I gave it to Samantha, and then we sit down at the table, and then I look back and Libby puts one on her thing and she starts laughing. And she was like, Molly gave me one too. Because it's you. They made that sticker for you.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to hear about ListPerfectly or Listing Party, just ask. We have lots of information.
All right. So who was after that, Samantha, with the schedule?
Probably the macaroni and cheese. No, let's see.
Well, we had the reseller showdown, but let's talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
And then we had Reselling Revolution, a Rural Squirrel, and Angie Resells of the Last Two Lunch podcast.
Oh, they did great.
So great.
It was so fun. They did kind of a way back time machine on eBay, like what it was like to sell in the olden days when it was the Wild West. It was really fun and interesting. And they just talk about changes in marketplace and adapting and ways they've adapted their business. So really helpful, useful. Yeah.
They did a great job. They play off of each other so well. I just love I think of them very much like us. They're just who they are. And with the different personalities and the mutual respect for each other, they're
nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it.
They did. They should have a comedy show after that. It was great.
Yeah.
Next up, we had not so shameless plugs, Maggie Civic of the ARC Thrift Stores and the Get Thrifty podcast, which we were just guests of. Go listen to that.
She was amazing.
One of the most interesting, thoughtful presentations I've ever heard. Engaging. It was all about marketing and being creative in your marketing and ways to get out there. It was absolutely phenomenal. Again, one of the things that it would be worth just buying a virtual ticket just to watch that.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So or check out the Get Thrifty podcast as well. I mean, she does an amazing job marketing.
And for our people that have brick and mortars, she has such a take on how to get people into a store and engage with local audiences and things like that, and to work with resellers and communities in order to get people in there. It was great.
Yeah, really, for people that have a brick and mortar like that, you need to see this. You need to see this. I guarantee
yeah,
you will take
amazing.
away at
Yeah.
least one thing, if not several.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. She's amazing. Getting to sit with her and meet her in person was great.
Yeah, that was fun after doing the podcast with her and not
Her and Lisa are
to be
fantastic.
in person. Yeah.
Yeah. Great team.
And then Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter
and Nanette
was
Zapon of
yep.
American Artifacts.
Yep. And they did theirs was cool. So I liked
Very
theirs.
cool.
I liked theirs because it was at the end, like towards where you're just kind of you're winding down, you're thinking about like what am I gonna wear tonight at the Fremont thing, what's the plan. But they went through A to Z, just random bolos or things to look out for and cute little stories of ones that they have found. Like C was for coins, but you wouldn't think about this Disney coin. And like, just, it was so fun because I was chit-chatting which normally is super disrespectful and I should not have been doing it. But there's the way that there's flowed. It was just a good vibe. I don't know. I really liked it.
It was so interesting. And I'm not somebody that goes out and sources a whole lot or looks for stuff, but I found it absolutely just so interesting, like the ephemera things and I just things I never would have thought of or looked at ahead of time. So that was awesome.
And I must tell the truth, for the one that does source, I skipped out and went back because I could not keep my eyeballs open and I was hurting so bad that I had to go back and lie down.
So let's talk about that. So that's a pivotal point in this trip. Molly left because she wasn't feeling good that day. Just some normal, not feeling good, drained, travel
tired,
things.
overrun.
Yeah. Libby, on the other hand, started looking like a zombie. I love you, Libby, but it was a bit rough there for a second. All of a sudden, the color drained from you. You got a cough, and you should have went back with Molly.
I went out to grab the Uber, but she was already gone.
Well, I offered when I was leaving. I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to get
it happened in such like a fashion. It happened so quickly that
it was crazy quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went down and that was the last anybody heard of me for the rest of the trip. So the ladies will have to fill you in the rest. I have to go. I'm going to get to go back and watch all the virtual stuff because I'm just recovering. So I haven't even had a chance to honestly to do that. So I'm going to watch the rest of this recap and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch the virtual because there were so many things that I was looking forward to. I am wearing I'd flip that shirt. So ladies are going to talk about the game show and everything. The shirts, well, I came up with the concept for the shirts and I'd flip that, made them. But I didn't get to wear it. They're going to talk about that, but
yeah. So Molly went home. Libby wasn't feeling good, or not home, went back to the hotel.
Back to the hotel.
Recovered so that she could come out and party with me that night. That was still a good time. And then Libby was down for the count. So we had the Fremont crawl that night. And I went to the most of it. I didn't do Container Park. Like I met the people at Container Park, but I waited a little while because I was also tired and not quite up for the whole thing. And not a big drinker when on vacation, so didn't want to totally go into all that. But I went to Container Park, super cool. It's where the praying mantis is outside and it
shooting fire.
Yeah, it has a schedule where it shoots fire and it plays clips of songs or certain melodies. Well, I got there thinking everybody will be leaving. We'll walk down. It'll be great.
Guys, I hate to do this. But how I hopped off at BOSS Reseller, I gotta hop off our recording right now. But I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to add. I missed the rest of it.
Well, what? There's always questions to be asked, but okay.
Take care of your family thing. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
So go ahead. Praying mantis.
So the praying mantis. So I got there and just as I had wanted to time it, it worked out great. Our group was starting to trickle out. They're finishing their tabs. They're doing whatever. And they're going to start doing the crawl down Fremont. And basically for anybody who hasn't been, and this was my first time, all they do is they just walk along until they find a cool street performer or a stage or a bar that they want to stop at. And everybody kind of stops. You refill your drinks. You do whatever. You support that street performer. And then you move on, when that starts losing interest, the group moves on, you find something else cool. And is a progression down until you get to the end of Fremont. So as everybody is walking out, I'm saying hello to people. I'm checking out all the cool costumes because they had a costume contest. The Mantis starts shooting fire and playing the Thrift Shop Boys song. And they not only played that song, they played the whole thing. Like people were like Vegas people that like worked there and stayed there were like, they never play whole songs. Why did they play this whole song? And they didn't realize that we were the thrifting crew and they played
That's
the whole
awesome.
song just for us. And it was such a vibe and it was so fun. So that started that night. And then we all started traveling down. And once we got to the main stages in the Fremont experience outside of our hotel, Miss Molly joined us.
Yes, I told Samantha, text me when y'all get down this way because I was still just, hurting, tired. I have basically autoimmune diseases. My joints hurt real bad when I overdo it. So I just needed to rest them. And the idea of walking all the way down there and back just wasn't something my joints wanted to really do. So I'm laying in bed and I'm like doing that, devil angel, like I could really just put on my pajamas and go to sleep now. But Samantha's going to text me soon. But I could go, but I could stay right here and I'll feel better tomorrow. And then Samantha texts me and I'm like, you know what? No, I've waited all year to get back here with my people. I am going downstairs. So that was it. I just got up, said be down in a sec, and went down there and was glad I did it.
Yeah.
Glad I did it for many reasons. One, because I got to hang out with Samantha. But I also, as promised in previous episode, got to take video of the Let's Do Lunch podcast ladies and friends. Joe from I'd Flip That. We had several come down. Dom, the MC.
And Dawn.
Dawn. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
We are. I don't remember who else.
But anyway,
sorry, other person.
Did the zip line down Fremont Street. So I got down there in time to get that on video.
That was perfect timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they had waited. They had an appointment. And so we thought they were going to go at their appointment time, but they went and checked in at their appointment time. And it was like an hour and 20 minutes before they actually got to go. Wow. So you came out like 20 minutes before they actually went. It worked out great. Yeah.
I was out there enough time to get myself a drink at the bar, buy Katie a drink at the bar, which I found out later I wasn't supposed to because Vicky wanted Jen to watch her and she needed to go to sleep. And I bought her one. And as a joke,
she comes out with a beer.
I bought her she goes, I want a Blue Moon. And I go, did you say you want the blue one? And she goes, yeah, the blue one. So as a joke, I bought her the ginormous, tall flute beer thing that was in a blue cup. And I handed it to her and she goes, what the? And I was laughing so hard. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And then Jen came over, who was supposed to be watching her, and said, I thought we were friends. I thought you liked me.
Katie was the last one up that night. Even as we were going back to our hotel later on, she was still on Fremont Street.
They were having fun, a whole group of them out there. But yeah, we had fun, some dancing, and just it's always so much fun every year to have that social aspect. And I think they do a great job planning the fun social along with the learn educating stuff. It's just a really nice flow of things to do. So that was a fun night. And then we went.
That was good.
We went to go do a little gambling. That was a meh night. Because we went over to Circa and then we went to bed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then the last day, well, tell me schedule on the final day.
So
we got there early. We got because we were going to do, I needed to meet with Whatnot and about an upcoming fundraiser for Fearless Living. And Samantha had not done the tour yet of the Blind Center.
Yes.
So we were going to get there early, which we did a better job this time of getting there early.
Still weren't there when we should have been, but I did get a tour and it was absolutely amazing being able to literally go behind the scenes in the warehouse and talk to the visually impaired that are working there and seeing their process and watching people use they can't even see their own hands and they're using screwdrivers to take apart computers and find little chips that are inside of them and sorting them by plastic and copper and oh my gosh, it was just It was crazy. And they have some mascots there because, as you would imagine, some of the visually impaired have seen eye dogs. So got to see some puppies. And no, it was great. It takes it to a whole new level to do that tour and see everything that they are doing. It's really cool.
And this is one of the things, well, I'll get to that at the end about BOSS that
Yes.
I say. So
Yeah, we're almost there.
I met with Whatnot, and then we met back, and we had decided that day, every day we'd been sitting downstairs. The seats are not the most comfortable. That's been a complaint every year. ListPerfectly donated seat cushions last year, which was great. They brought them back this year. Still not the most comfortable seats, but upstairs there are these nice, comfortable seats that you can look down on everybody. So I said to her, last day we're sitting upstairs. So Samantha and I get the upstairs cozy chairs looking down on everybody. Well, who knew that would spark us to be the characters of the day yelling out all day long? Because let me tell you, when you yell from up there, everybody can hear you.
Yeah, when you thought that we already interrupted everything with our random yelling and joke making. Also, another thing that BOSS does really well, there was candy everywhere. They had snacks, they had chips, granola bars, constantly water bottles, all the stuff we needed. And on that last day, all of the chocolate that my heart desired. So I ate a lot of candy, but it was nice just getting to literally put our feet up and relax and occasionally jump up over the railing and scream at people. It worked out great.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So who'd we have on the final day?
So the first one was Josh Dugan from Resell Rabbit, even though his real name is John. He is a Wisconsin Midwest guy, and they had messed up his name tag on accident, and he made Katie apologize for it every single day, which was fantastic. And by the end of the week, everybody was calling him Josh. So he did one about wholesale and liquidation, and he has a pallet store that he does. And he talked a lot about how he sources wholesale. That was really cool. A lot of people were
interesting, right?
Yeah, a lot of people were questioning and figuring out how they're going to level up their business after that one. That was good. And then we had some panels. So we had a panel with I didn't know any of these people. Wade Coggins from Wade's Adventures was moderating. We had Alex from the Storage Stalker. We had Liz, Little Mama, Liz Rodriguez, both Alex and Liz Rodriguez, and Tiffany Lundy, the Vintage Curator. And they talked about the balance between raising kids, having family time, and being able to do the business and grow business while also making sure that you're spending enough time with your family, and how that all plays into it. So that was good.
I thought it was very inspiring. Mm-hmm. And I also thought, even though it doesn't affect me now because my child is in college, I have one and he's in college, but to hear, was it Tiffany that sat on the very end?
Yes.
To hear her talk about how many children did she have? Like
a lot.
5? I can't remember, but when she started about her children and the ages, and she's running a successful business, flabbergasted. Talk about really, and the importance, as she would say, about being there for your children when you need to be, And
I think really, I just have a totally different perspective on things this year as compared to stuff that I was listening to or interacting with last year, because you just got to take a step back and look at bigger pictures. So yeah, we don't have small children that we're doing stuff for. My daughter just got her license last week. I feel like an empty nester. She can do her own thing. She's fine. Kicking her out. She's good. But then when you think okay, but that also means that my husband and I are going to want to start traveling more and doing stuff, because we're not, and you and your husband do the same thing. So the tips and things that they shared can be used for any type of work-life balance in order to still have goals and plans and run a successful business, but also fit in the family time and the other things that you want to do.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Although good. I will say, having now been through young child, having been a preschool teacher for the majority of that was my thing. I was early childhood professional before getting into the consignment reselling world. This part of my life, the traveling with the business, is much easier than a house full of kids with business.
Amen.
You can still use some of the tips and tricks both ways, but I still gotta do a little bow down for those people on that panel with their kids.
not the same as having to fit in all the soccer practices and PTOs and basketballs. Yes,
Right.
definitely. Okay, then we had Diane and Jennifer for Fearless Living Fund. They started all the tiers before lunch. So, we've talked about Fearless Living a lot in this video, and definitely go and check them out. They're on Facebook, there's a website, all of it.
Fearlesslivingfund.org is their
Yes.
website.
So they raise money for the Blind Center and to help people live fearlessly and fearless. Over the last couple years, they've been doing this with the intent of giving scholarships. And we got to be there for the very first presentation of scholarships, which was awesome. And Diane never thought that she would get to give the scholarships to people. So being there to not only see these awesome visually impaired people that are getting, she got to give 2 scholarships to people that worked at the Blind Center. And then she also gave one to our friend Pam that won a bunch of stuff during the week. It was ridiculous.
It was just her lucky week.
She also got a $1,000 scholarship to help elevate her business as well. But being able to see Diane get to see her passion come to fruition and start all these scholarships in this amazing tradition was obviously next level.
Yeah. I mean, that is what I've been saying all year long. Please, Lord, just let Diane make it to the next one, because everything she does and means is amazing. But for her to have made it there for one last time, although knowing her, she's going to fight it. She might be there for one more time. But she surprised the doctors. She wasn't supposed to be there. She didn't think she would be, but daggum if she's not there. And I got to tell you, y'all, I'm talking about needing to take a break and having to go home or back to the hotel early. This woman was going nonstop. She was nonstop. She was at the pool with us all day. I mean, everywhere. She
partied up on Fremont.
She partied on Fremont. I danced with her on Fremont. She was all over. She's just amazing. And her daughter's amazing. Her whole family's amazing. And she's supported by people. And it's like, I remember always telling my mom this through times of trial when all the support would come in. You get what you give. You know, my mom would always be amazed by how many people would come out of the woodworks at a time of need for her. And I'm like, it's because of who you are that makes them want to do what they do. And it's the same with Diane. She is just such an amazing human being. The second you meet her, she's your family. She's your family from that point on. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you do, and who you are. She just loves with a full whole heart. She's also going to tell you what to do when she needs to, but she loves with her full whole heart. And it just meant everything. And the other thing that really meant everything was the first 2 recipients of the scholarship were both people that use the Blind Center, but have been an integral part of BOSS from the get-go. And you couldn't have picked 2 better people, because a lot of us resellers know them from previous years, and again, they're this year. But last year was my first year, and we got to Gary, who we mentioned earlier, won the $7,500 housing scholarship. And Gary was with us last year through the tours, and he did Fremont Street with us. In fact, Libby and I and Susan and Bishop, there was a group of us that he walked the whole Fremont with. There was like 6 of us that walked together. And Gary was with us the whole way through. And so you just really get to know him because he wants to be a part of us. He did it again this year, Samantha mentioned. So to have him win that was just like, oh, that's perfect. And then they had one more they gave away, which was a $600 scholarship for phone bill. And it was Evander. And Evander is the gentleman who is the greeter. He meets you at the door. That is one of his main jobs. You will see him walking everywhere. He uses the blind stick and the feeler stick to get around everywhere, and nothing stops him from getting anywhere he needs to go. But he is the warmest heart. The man smiles nonstop. And one of the stories Diane said last year and repeated again this year was he's blind. And when she does the registration table every year, people will walk in the door that are actual workers or users of the facility, and he would know them by name just by the sound of their footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
He would just be like, "Oh, hi, Fred, how was your day? How you doing this morning?" And it was just amazing that he could identify them before they even opened their mouths. And that was our greeting the last day when you and I walked in that morning.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We walked in there, well, hello, ladies. And we're like, well, hi,
Oh, yeah. I had an awesome interaction with him just that day and starting us right off on the greatest foot as we came through the door. And then a little while later, he's getting the award. I'd never met him before that or seen him before that. And he did that. And I was like, that's perfect. You're right. He made my day great today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they were the perfect choices for the first ones. And that just made that connection that much more meaningful and made me cry that much harder. Snoop Dogg came up to me later and he's like, I wanted to come console you because you were crying, but I didn't know if I should. And I said, no, I'm glad you didn't, because then I would have been like, ah! It's better just to leave me alone and let me get through it. Otherwise I'll ugly cry. So, it was a good cry. It was a meaningful cry. It wasn't,
Yeah.
It was just a beautiful moment the whole way through. And
it was
such a good job talking about what they're doing with Fearless Living. And I was glad to hear that money isn't really given directly to them. They are getting that to go, 100% of it is going to what they said it was.
Yes.
But the Blind Center is controlling that money so that they're not walking on the streets with this cash that somebody would take advantage of them with because of their living situation. That money would be gone. Somebody would, sadly, whether they beat them, stole it, swindled them, whatever. They are keeping control of these scholarships from year to year and dispersing them to pay the bills, which I think is
great, because then that it's going to exactly, $7,500 is housing. He doesn't have to worry about housing. It's taken care of for that aspect, and the cell phone bill for Evander, so he can keep on talking.
He loves to talk, that one. Keep on keeping on. Anyway, okay, so
next was the final. So we went and we had lunch. Also, the Blind Center doing all these lunches and this food, and oh my God, I ate brisket mac and cheese 2 days straight, and I had to pull myself away from it on the third, and I honestly regret it a little bit. I should just went for it again because it was.
I did take amazing. A taste of hers each day because I was trying to eat salad because I was eating crap the rest of the day.
You did so good.
I did the salad bar every day for lunch, and it's great, y'all, because they have the food set up 3 different areas, two outside, 1 inside, salad bar inside. They do it all, and no matter what line you go through, it's $12. Just a flat $12.
Yep. Pick whatever you're getting.
And there's so much food. Like you're just,
and it's nice. Yeah, because someone like me, I can't eat half the things that most places offer. I mean, I even went to a family dinner the other day, and I could only eat what I brought to family dinner. Like, I had more options at this event
than you did at your family dinner.
At a family dinner where everybody has known for a decade that I cannot eat corn. Like, what the heck? Come on. So that was the nice part. I couldn't have anything in the taco truck because it all had corn tortillas, and I didn't want to be picky, and it all looked amazing. It looked like they did a fantastic job. I heard so many great reviews.
I heard a lot of great things about it too. Yeah.
But I couldn't have that. But that's okay because there were other options and it was fine. So they did a great job.
Yeah. Delish.
So then we got to help participate in the I'd Flip That Reseller Showdown game show, which I'd Flip That is now switching to 1 show a month, and it is going to be the first Thursday of the
first
month. Yes, because it's this week.
Okay.
It's tomorrow, guys. It is the 2nd. Go watch it. Pretty sure, she says. If not, we're sorry. We were wrong. Go check YouTube. There'll be a link. It'll be great. But I'd Flip That. Check them out. It is a game show just for resellers. So every day after lunch, they did their little, 10, 15-minute segment where they played games and gave away cool prizes. And we had lots of laughs and lots of fun.
So much fun.
Different game shows that they modeled after each day, different trivia questions. And it was just constant laughter and hilariousness and prizes. I mean, you could have won tens of dollars of prizes. It was great.
Tens of dollars.
So, And then on the last day, they did have some big prizes. There were Yeti coolers and cash and gift cards and all kinds of stuff. We got to wear our shirts, which I should have been like Libby and worn ours today. But Molly and I got to be the showcase girls and walk around with the items for the final showdown and display them to everybody. I got shoes that they mentioned that people could touch because they were these really cool Converse that had like a felt detail on them, or velvet detail, I should say. And everybody wanted to touch them. So here I thought like I was going to meander through. I was trying to skip tables to hurry up so I could go grab the next item. And people were yelling at me. They were like, well, I don't get to touch them. I don't get to. Cool. Okay. All right. I mean, all in good fun. Other than one person that was a little cranky, but
you got the really cool Converse that everybody wanted to touch. I got the really ugly stuffed Klingon doll, Star Trek Klingon doll, that everybody wanted to touch its bumpy, gross head and weird hair. And that's what I walked around with. And it was creepy, but it was fun. I had fun with it. I did.
It was fun. We had a great time with them. So they did an awesome show. And then it was decided, Vicky went back up on stage and said, so we should definitely do that every year. And everybody screamed yes at the top of their lungs. Or maybe it was me. I don't know. There was a lot of yelling.
Probably all
and and they are going to keep that a part of each boss. So make sure that you come and you could be on a game show and have lots of fun with that.
They do
that was
such
awesome.
an amazing job. They do a great job with that.
Yes. That's awesome.
Right.
So next was the Posh Potential, Navigating Poshmark with Posh Potential and Jill and Tiffy Pie. And they had a panel where they discussed Poshmark and lives and all things Posh and just talked about tips and tricks on there.
Cute little Sarah. It's Boink. She's adorable. Sarah B. Boinkin. She had an issue getting into her hotel because when she reserved it, she had reserved it under her Instagram name or not even Instagram name, just like her name on social media, but her card didn't have the B part and their name's different. Oh my gosh. They gave her crazy. They gave her so much issues. It was weird. Crazy.
So that was good, all about Posh. And then the next one was Managing Mental Health and Self-Care. That was with the Storage Auction Pirate and Vicky, our LV Pink Peacock. And I think that I'd maybe watched one or two of his videos for the storage auction pirate. I did not know his story. I did not know that he was homeless at one point and all the things that he went through for his children and with his children, and holy schmoly. So definitely go back and watch that one, because that was another one where we were all crying and having like, it was so good. Unbelievably inspiring. I mean, that's his whole body. We laughed, we cry, we laugh, we cry. I mean, it is just so inspiring. Yeah, he had an amazing story. I'm really glad I wasn't in front of the camera up front again for this day. This day would have been bad. It would have just been like right now where I'm just my nose is running. This day was a rough day. Rough day. Hence why I needed all the chocolate upstairs. What a good day. Yes, it was so good. And then the very last thing to round it all out was Ken, the Hustle Bee. He and his wonderful wife, JC, and several other helpers went up and had a live Whatnot show, which the Whatnot reps, but at this point, a lot of the people, the vendors and stuff were all packed up and they were out, and it was so awesome. So the Whatnot guys are up there and they're helping troubleshoot anything that comes up. Whatnot donated, they waived all fees for this auction. Everything, all proceeds, everything went right to the Blind Center. They were auctioning off donated things and stuff that they had. At one point, they auctioned the shirt off of Katie's back. Like literally, she was helping to display things, and somebody said, "What about her shirt?" And she went, "Okay, we can do this," and she did it. So it was amazing. We actually had to leave. Our phones were dying because we all started watching Whatnot and bidding and doing things and supporting this awesome cause. We all also had to call Ubers, so that didn't work out too well. Okay. So we ended up heading out and going to get ready for the gala and wind down. They raised over $10,000 during this auction. It was amazing. And the vendors that came out, Brian and a couple of the other eBay guys, they bought stuff. Like it was just so fun to literally watch not just the reselling community, but even the sponsors and the companies come together and do such an awesome thing for the Blind Center.
Yep.
Great.
So, all right, y'all, funny story, not so funny. We're getting ready for what? Huh?
It's hilarious.
We're sitting up in our cozy chairs, and at this point, Nicole, I'd flip that. Nicole comes up and joins us, and she pulled a chair up in between us because she wanted to be upstairs cozy too at that point. So I'm looking through because I had already gone through their items and decided what I was going to bid on. And last year I ended up bidding up onto a shirt that, I don't know, $600 and something for a t-shirt I'll never wear. But this year I was like, if I'm going to know what I want, so at least what I bid for. The whole idea, of course, is the donation. I'm not really for the item, but it'd be nice if the item was something I could either use or gift, right? So I went through and there's a Grateful Dead t-shirt. So I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing with this. I want to win the Grateful Dead t-shirt because it's going to be a gift. This is what I'm going for. I got my amount set. I know what I'm going with. I go in, and as Ken's doing the intro, I go look at the item, and some people have already bid on it. So I go in, bid, you've been outbid, somebody had set a high. So I go in to bid $54 and accidentally fat finger type $7.54. So it was locked in. I could not retract. I kept trying to find a retract button. I could not retract the $7.54.
And before you could even try to find one or go talk to the wonderful Whatnot men that were there, they saw all these wonderful pre-bids coming in and said, let's start this auction out.
And they grab, I mean, literally, as I'm realizing what I've done, I'm like, oh my God, I just set the bid at $754 on that shirt. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did it. And Ken goes, here we go. And he pulls that shirt up as the very first item. The mayhem.
Pre-bids had got up to like 200 before he even started it. And granted, every time someone bids, if it is under $754, Molly is automatically bidding more because she already set her pre-bid amount.
It's going up, y'all. 300 and something. I'm like, okay, all right. 400 and something. I'm like, okay, all right.
The screaming, the energy. I'm pretty sure Nicole got it on video. It was great.
Ken, the whole time, Ken's going, oh, Molly chats again. Oh my gosh, it's Molly again. It's Molly again. People at home that were virtually watching said it was going so fast that it looked like I was bidding against myself.
Yeah.
Because the others bidding weren't registering in the chat. So it looked like I kept bidding against myself. Anyway, it did not get to the $754, thank goodness. So that being said, it would have been $754 to a very good place, but just a couple hundred more than what I had accounted for with my
budget
of donations during that trip, plus the silent auction stuff. So it was a little hairy, but it was good. Either way, it would have been fine, but it worked out very well. But woo, talk about panicking. Nicole's like, oh my God, what do you want me to do? I'll buy you dinner. Like, you know, dinner's already covered. Don't worry about it. Oh, it was so funny. So that was my auction issues of crazy time that we were all laughing and screaming and having a ball.
It was hilarious. It definitely got the vibe going for that one. That one started off with a bang.
100%. Boom. Right out the door.
Yeah.
So anyway, because of all that crazy, my battery was going downhill. So we had to order our Uber and scoot out early. So I was done spending at that point anyway. I'd hit my mark. I was done.
So we went back, we recharged our batteries, took a little power nap, got all dolled up, and went to the gala, which was prom themed, vintage prom themed. Everyone was encouraged to bring a thrifted outfit. Again, as with any part of this trip, just wear thrifted stuff all the time. It's great. We, especially with traveling so far, did not have any crazy gowns or anything, but we still got dressed up and got to walk the red carpet and hang out with our friends. It was a little loud when we first went inside, which they had asked them to turn the music down a little bit and stuff. So a lot of us are standing out front. We're hanging out by the red carpet going in, watching people get their photos taken, photo bombing some things, all that. And a few people had went out back. because the auction and all the other things had raised so much money, I did not know that there was a bowling alley and arcade in a separate building just behind
No idea. No
the blind
idea.
center. So they have so many things for the visually impaired that work there and stay there and come there just for respite. And I saw some of the different lounges and quiet spaces they have and their classrooms and things that they do to help teach people. Evander, I didn't know that his parents had actually been there. His mom had been there when he was little, and he'd been going there since he was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of different things for many stages. So when everybody was going outside to hang out, they just opened up this bowling alley and arcade for everybody, which we didn't realize we were out front. And Katie at one,
I thought everybody was going home. I was like, well, I guess party's over.
Yeah, Katie at one point had said something about the bowling alley, but she had said, it's extra money. We don't rent it out every year because it's more money and it takes away from the dancing and blah, blah, blah. So we didn't really know that she had mentioned that because they opened it up and everybody's out there playing games and having fun until we went to find our Uber thinking everybody had left.
So we called our Uber, who ended up going to the back, not the front. And as we're walking through the back, there's a bunch of people having a party, playing games. And I'm like, what the? Oh, man.
Yep.
Dang it.
But it was still so much fun. Again, amazing food. The music was loud, but it was great music. And the way that they set it up for that event, if I lived near there, I would have all my events. Like I would have had my wedding reception there, everything should be there. All the birthday parties, all the stuff. It's great.
They do a great job. Really do.
And then the way that they have Katie and Vicky's friend does the photography when they come in and they have that all set up. It was quite the ordeal. For my first one, it was amazing.
All right. So I want to wrap this up because this is a long video because we could go on about this forever. But I want to wrap this up by saying I did 3 different events this year.
Mm-hmm.
I called it my trifecta. Mm-hmm. I liked every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I got something out of every one of them. BOSS is always near and dear to my heart, though. And what makes it so special is everything we just told you about with the Blind Center. A lot of people don't like that we are not having our events in the same place that we're staying, because a lot of them you go to and you stay in the hotel and all of your conferences in the same spot. With this, it's not. With this, you're staying in a hotel and you're either renting a car or you're Ubering to the Blind Center and back every day. I personally don't care. And if you can't afford it, please reach out because we will get cars and group people up. But that having it at the Blind Center is one of the amazing things that makes this experience beyond anything else.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, my only thing would be, yes, it does cost more money. I only went to 2 events. I went to the ListPerfectly one in Arizona, all at the Hilton, all there. We never left there except the last day to go thrifting. And so budget wise, it was easier. It was better, like as far as that goes. However, this was better just for the pure experience. There's always somebody to room with if you need it. And yes, we shared Ubers. We did what we can figure that part out. My only thing would be is someday when they have apartment buildings and things there, they need to also have some sort of small motel that we could all stay in. That would be great.
At the Blind Center.
Yes.
Then we'll be paying Ubers to go to Fremont Street every night. You can't really win, right? Like you just can't. But I am perfectly fine staying on Fremont Street and Ubering there. I just think that this is what makes them so special. Vicky and Katie both come from a nonprofit background. I come from a nonprofit background. I love that this business, when Libby and I started Consignment, has always been about giving back from the get-go. That was the very beginning. So when I first went to this and met and found out who Vicky and Katie were in their heart and realized that they were like me and loved the whole giving back thing, and that is such an integral part of BOSS Reseller Remix. What it does is it creates a community at those events of everybody lifting each other up and everybody supporting everybody and everybody being there for everybody. And somebody posted a picture day 1 or day 2 in the group from their chair looking out and said, I am here. These are my people. And, it's true. And you feel that way at every conference that you go to with resellers. But there's just something outside of this that Katie, Vicky, and Teresa have that makes it a little more special. And I think it has to do with that. I think it's the connection with the
Well,
blinds.
yeah, because no matter, there was drama. There were things that we as a group were aware of and things that were happening in little, it's going to happen whenever you get a group of people together. There's little things that happen. But I don't think most people even knew that they were going on. And it didn't affect any part of anything.
Right.
But no matter what, even if you were in the middle of that drama, how do you walk into that place, see the people that are working there, and feel the hospitality and the wonderfulness and everything going on there, and remain cranky? Like, you can't. It's impossible.
Evander will not allow you to be that way when you walk in the door because he's going to make you smile.
Not allowed. Yes. It's just amazing no matter what. Yeah.
So y'all, again, start saving your pennies now. We know that there are wonderful reseller events. Try to get to as many as you can because they really do change your business. They change you. Even if you've had a business for umpteen years and been very successful, you're still going to learn and grow from this. And you're going to leave feeling amazing. I felt that way leaving Camp Listing Party. I felt that way leaving Boss. I mean, you're going to feel it. So save your pennies. Save your pennies and make yourself get to one.
Also, and Katie and Vicky and Teresa, I was talking with Teresa the other night and they've reiterated this as well. This was the first year that they let speakers apply. And I mean, there were some that they picked and they wanted there, but for the most part, they let people apply, and which they had a fantastic response of applications. And this year was, as far as I've heard, it was my only year, was the best mix of small sellers. Not everybody was a YouTuber, or like it was just such a mix of what everybody offered. The consignment, thrifting, the wholesale, the whole thing. So also start thinking about what you would like to talk about, or if there's something that I really want to see this there or that there. Talk to your friends, talk to your reseller friends, create your own panel and apply as a panel, or whatever that you can bring to the table or you want people to know more about. This could be an opportunity for that to apply for the 2025 one.
Truth. All right. So stop, collaborate, and listen. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, join the group. We love you. I always got to throw something in song.
When Libby leaves us, there's just singing and dancing.
I know. Until next time, my friend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we build a resourceful community of collaborative resellers. Find all the ways to connect with us on consignmentchats.com. Episodes are available on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. In addition, join our free private Facebook community.